Hey, Robot, we back at you again. About to really put this down, man. Give me a second to get everything set up, bro. We hope y'all checked out the raw tapes. It got split up in 4 parts yesterday, man. So we hoping this one don't get split up. Now, this is some information we kind of already covered in the other tapes, but we just want to make it clear because we're still getting a couple questions about certain things. So we just want to make it clear, man. Hey, Robot, to everybody that's coming in the building, bro. We back at you again with another perspective. Because people still asking, hey man, young elder, like give us the breakdown of this, man. So we're coming back at you again to do this breakdown. Oh, let me get the chat pulled up, man. Then we can get in cracking the code. You know what I'm saying? Rob Bot to everybody that's in the building, man. Give us the breakdown of this, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the class. And hold on, I'm almost done setting it up. If you want to show your brother some love, we're posting the Cash App and the links, man. We're gonna talk about the original people of Earth, so we can build in your mind on the different species that's here, the different species, right? So we got to build that in your mind so you can see what's going on and the different combinations of what we got going on. Okay, hold up, just a second. Hey, Robot to everybody that's in the building, man. We're giving them time to come in. We got 50 people. That's enough to go ahead with this. So that's originally the original species. It goes back to the reptilians, right? Because your planet was covered with water at one point, and if the beings that live here were water beings, right? So it goes all the way back to the reptilians being some of the first types of species on Earth. And a lot of people gonna say, "Oh, he don't really know what he's talking about. He's still, he's still calling it Earth." Now we understand that there's different names for it, and the real name is not really Earth. Earth is just dirt. Earth is just an element, a combination of several elements to make up dirt. So you could call several planets Earth. Mars could be Earth based on because it's got dirt on Mars. So Mars could be Earth. Where are reptiles? We'll get to some questions and answers at the end of the class, but if you want to go watch that Mother Hoover tape, we break down the reptilian joints. You know what I'm saying, in that joint. But it's originally four humanoid type species that we're dealing with. Really 5 if you want to count it. It's 5 or 6 if you want to count the Anunnakis as being the original people that was coming here, the Anunnaki. So it'd be 5. So the one species is the Anunnakis that were coming here, right? One of the oldest species. Now, it's two different parts to this perspective to this, based on if you count the crash when the Tridacidites came here, and then they began mixing with the humans. If you're looking from a Troglodyte perspective, you would say that the Twa man was the oldest, but the Twa mans are really mixed with the Sans people and the Troglodytes. All right, so the Sans people, let's pull them up so you can see what they look like. We already showed you pictures of these people on other tapes. The Sans people of South Africa, and you see they got a lighter skin tone. All right, see most of them have got a lighter skin tone, so you got to look at that. They got a lot of skin tone, and their hair is more nappier than a lot of other beings. So this is one of the original species of humanoids on the planet, right? And the 4 species we're going to break down for you, all other species come from the different combinations of the mix and some extraterrestrial influence coming in and mixing in too. We're going to break that down too. But these people are some of the one of the oldest tribes in Africa, the Sans people, right? All right, so you see what they look like. You can pull it up. Then the next oldest clan, really, it's a clan that's older than that, but the next oldest clan, but they really extraterrestrials. All right, the next clan is the Twa man, right? Twa man. See the Twa man. So look at the features, right? Remember we told you about these beings that came here, the primes or the primitives. They were disagreeable. These Troglodytes, and so they mixed in with the Twa man. They are the Twa man is part of these Troglodytes that live in the Bermuda Triangle. These Meldekians, these beings that came from Meldic, kidnapping or abducting certain species and mixing in with them, and they evolved out the water. And these people are connected with the James Baldwin people. I'm telling you, James Baldwin, the short people. You know what I'm saying? Short people could be some of the meanest people in the world. But what we were doing is we were trying to breed out the disagreeableness of these particular beings that lived in the Bermuda Triangle. So we started mixing the humanoids with these beings to breed out the disagreeable, and we created a passive type beings. And these beings are the passive beings. These little people, these Twa man, they are the Kishites, right, from ancient Kemet. But I will break all that down in the Holy Tablets. We're gonna put the Holy Tablet links in some of these in the comments, right? But these were the agreeable beings that we bred out of these disagreeable beings to try to breed the disagreeableness people out. All right, so that's one. Oh, that's an old species, because we're going to break down the 4 main species, right? Another species you got is the Hindus people, but it's really okay. All right, the Hindu people, right? But these people were originally different colors before they came here. Hakeem, he back again, y'all. Trying to get this class in the archives, man. Hey, close that door, Hakeem. All right, so the Hindus are another original species. Keep in mind about the hair texture. Hey, look, keep in mind about the hair texture. All right, these different hair textures. These were one of the original races. These people came here though, they extraterrestrial, they came here from another planet called Procon or the Nirvana star system. So these people are extraterrestrials. Look at the hair texture. They're not the same as the Sans people or the Twa man. It's a different species. All right, then you got the 4th species. These beings are called a Watusi. So these were the oldest 4 species on the planet. Look at his features. Look at their hair texture. It's more woolly texture than the nappy. See, it's like got the woolly texture. So looking at the woolly texture of his hair, and then you looking at the Sands man, you looking at a nappier, tighter type bees. They call them what they call them BBs when they making fun of people. Hey Hakeem, cut it out. Come on, go in there, close my door. Yeah, so you looking at when you look at this hair texture, you're looking at a more of a woolly texture. This is the Anunnaki trait coming in. You're looking at a more of a woolly texture, and you looking at the different facial features of this being and its other, you know. So it's the four species, right? The Watusis, they are extraterrestrials. So the two species that's really all the species are extraterrestrial when you draw it down, because the Sands man was put together on Mars and brought here as worker beings, and the Twa man was like the overseers of these beings, just like the Iggy's or the Giggies beings were over the mothership Nubu. We're gonna break that down on the journey ship of mothership Nubu. There was the shorter Rizkins. Then you have a taller group of Rizkins. But from these different species of the original humanoids, different by them mixing in, you get the different combinations. Like if you mix the Watusi with the Sandsman, or if you mix the Watusi with the Twa man, right? And then you mix Hindu in with these beings. You can mix, several different combinations that can come about from these four different species. Now, people was asking me, he just like my son. I'm telling you, hey, Hakeem is the dude, man. He the guy. He the guy. You don't like I say, you don't gotta kill a guy. Just put Hakeem with him. He'll drive him crazy. Yeah, I tell you, he be all up on your stuff, man. I'm telling you, everything you got. If you ain't watching him and fondling him and keeping him on point on what he want to do, he gonna go with your stuff, man. He gonna go with your package, right? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but these four different species, through a combination of a different mixing, you get these different species. Okay, like for instance, you get a people called the Bantu tribe. They are a mix between the Watusis and the Twa man, and that's the South African species that do the red plaits in their hair that we showed you the other day. I think we got a picture of them beings on the phone. Let's see, can we pull that up? Right here. All right, so you got the Bantu people. These are you can tell the combination. You can see the Twa man. The Twa man I just showed you. You can see here, and you can see the Watusi. So this is another species that came from a combination of a mix between the Watusis and the Twa man, right? Then you got another species, like the Afar is later on down the line. The original ancient Egyptians, the real, see, because you're going all the way back, but the Afar is later on down the line after several mixes came down. Like you're talking about the Danakal mix, you're talking about the regular Sands people and the Twa man mix, the Bantu people. Then those Bantu people, these people with the red hair, they then in turn mix in with the Hindus. Then you get these Afar people. The Afar people got Hindu in them. They got Danakal. They got Twa man. Now, Bible make mention of the group of beings called the Nubians, right? And they are mixed too. The Dinka from Sudan, right? Okay, my bad. Dinka. The Dinka people. So now they got these people got Watusi in them. These people are a combination between the Watusis and the Twa man. I mean the Watusis and the Sands people. Right? They're a little bit taller. Remember, I told you about the height in this game. You know what I'm saying? Hey, close my door. So they accommodate these Dinka people what you calling like the Anunnakis mixed in with the Sands people, because keep in mind these Watusis, they were had Anunnaki in them. And so they mix in with the Sands people and create these Dinkas. So at first you got, and they one of the oldest tribes as far as they can be classified as the Nubans too, and the Nubians. It depends on what the time frame is that you're talking about. But so when you start mixing all these different 4 original species in, you start to get all these different combinations. And then from them combinations, you take and start mixing them together. So these beings then, like for example, these beings migrated to West Africa and mixed in with the Dogon people. And then from that species spawned another species. Then the Hindus from Shabazz came mixed in with those species and created the Melodian Moors. So the Melodian Moors, Abu Bakr and them, are a combination of 3 or 4 different species being mixed in together. Now, people was asking me, man, where does the white people come from? All right, so it's 3 different types, as the master teacher taught us in the Holy Tablet. It's 3 different types of Caucasians, what you call them white folks, right? One species was drafted out of, let me pull it up. One species of the white man was drafted out of this species, the Hindu people, the dark-skinned Hindus. So, hold up. And this is the people that, hold on, let me type this in real quick. Hey, Rob Bot to everybody that's in the building. Hey, the Almax is that mix that I just talked about there, the Dinka, right? The Dinka, the older clan of the Dinka that go back millions of years. These beings migrated over to America. These Dinka people, they were called the Nubans, right? How Braba break it down in the he breaks it down in the Let's Set the Record Straight book. Okay, it's all leading up to one point, man. You know. So you got the dark-skinned Hindus, and what happens is, if most of y'all already know the story of Yaku. If you don't know the story of Yaku, we're gonna be putting that story out in a couple of days. We're gonna be telling the story of Yaku, tying it all in so you can see the whole picture. But these Hindus, the first type of white species to come out is actually started in Procon star system, but the first type of Caucasian was these Frugaloids. Now I can't pull it. I got a picture of them, I think, in this dang folder. Hakeem, bring that back, boy. I should have loaded that folder. That folder, they got the Frugaloids in it. But the bean, maybe I could pull up this. Maybe I could do it like this. Okay, I know what I could do. Let me show you like this. So keep in mind the dark-skinned Hindus, who are really the Asiatic black man. The Asiatic black man is really the Hindus, not now we could go into the Sands people kind of connected to the Asiatic black man, because the Sands people did migrate to Asia from South Africa. So we could get into that too, but and they be all right. So you know the story of Yaku, right? Yaku is the one that got. Come on, man. Come on, don't do this. Come on. All right, but you already know the story of Yaku, but let me find like a picture. See, they got the Frugaloids on here. But you already know that he took the Hindus and began draining the lighter one onto the lighter one onto the lighter one, to eventually he got a whole nother species, right? And he was really born on Earth, and he was really born on Earth, Yaku. right? So he was from an extraterrestrial species called the Nako and the Terus, who mixed their seed together to make a treaty, and he was the result of it from Yishak and his mother, who was a conehead. Okay, so I would think Honorable Elijah Muhammad already broke the story down right here. He got a whole book on it, and then Baba broke the story down and went more into detail on it from what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. And they got these people's skulls. They got the skulls already, so they know it ain't no heavy duty shit no more, man. We already on to it. You know what I'm saying? They got the skulls, and they got the skulls of the Nako too. We can pull them up, right? So these beans were coming down mixing in, but we'll get into that. But we just talk. Okay, all right. Here go another better representation. Okay, so what happens is that Yaku start breeding this different species from the Hindus. So you got that. That's the Frugaloids. That's the Billy Meyer types. That's the L. Ron Hubbard really was a mix with the Aldebarans. Because that's why he had a different color hair. See, hair color, eye color, all that, you gotta recognize all of it. So that's the one species, the Frugaloids. Then you got another type of Caucasian species, which really are Nubians. They just look Caucasian, and that's the Eminems, and that's the Britney Spears, the Justin Biebers, right? The what's the other brother name? Justin Timberlake. These guys just look white. They Canaanites. They what you call Canaanites. They are albinos. So it's a difference between the Frugaloids and albinos, although they got similar traits with the blonde hair and things. Hey, Hakeem, stop. So the first type is the Frugaloids. The second type is the Canaanites, which is really our people. So you can tell the difference though. They mostly gonna gravitate around their own people, us. And so you listen to them, you can hear them on the phone, and you would say, "Damn, that's a black person." Then you see him, they be like, "Oh, he's white." And those Moors don't like the word white, but just calm down. We're trying to just get this over, and we'll break all that down on another tape. But so it's a group of individuals out here that look Caucasian, but they really Nubians, and they just lost their melanin due to a curse, according to they teachers. But it's really dealing with the mix, who they mix with, the different species. And so you got the Canaanites are really us, and they really are family. And you, like I say, you can tell when you listen to these people. They most likely gonna have a black husband or a black wife, like that comedian. What his name is? He got the red hair. Different color hair. I can't think of his name now. He was in them movies with Kevin Hart and all that. But he got a black wife, black kids, and I know y'all don't like the word black, but I'm just using that particular these terms to so people can grasp what I'm saying. Anybody that don't know nothing about the moral science yet. So so you got those type of people. Those people. That's one species of Caucasian, but they really ain't Caucasians. They really Canaanites. They really Nubians who just look like Kim Kardashian now. But like even though we go into the spiritual aspect of the beings, who taking over the cause. Those cause were sacrifices for beings to be able to come in. For to be able to come into this dimension. So we can get into that. We talked about it in the Scroll of Eyes. We broke a lot of that stuff down in the Scroll of Eyes. Right, part 1, volume 1. So that's one type of species. You got two different types of species: the Frugaloids, Canaanites, and then the third type of species is the Aldebarans, which they stem from the same line, the Hindus. Right, the Hindus, because the Aldebarans are species that broke off from the Hindus from actually Prochrome, and they got taken to Aldebaran, started assessing by the reptilians as a food source, and then they started to develop there with the red hair and the green eyes. That's another type of. So you got those 3 different types, and then they began to mix in with each other. Some of them even mix back in with us, the Nubians, right? to create other species. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, Haru, stop screaming like that, bro, like a girl, bro. Hey, calm down, bro. Get you some water. Calm down. Take a walk. Oh man, my son got the thing going there, right? Man, pause. Yeah, yeah. So we got them three different. We showed you the four original species, and then from the Hindus we get these this particular species, the Frugaloids, and then they want another mix, and then you got the Canaanites, which are albinos that come from the Nubians, right? They come out of the Nubians. So really, Canaanites are Nubians, and I know some of y'all know a few. They grew up in with us. You can hear them talk, and you can say, "Oh yeah, this dude black. I mean, oh, this dude's a Nubian. He just got a white car." You know what I'm saying? So this dude's the Nubian, man. I can hear him. I can hear him. As soon as they open their mouth, right? The M&Ms, right? The M&Ms. So you can hear, yeah, that's his name, George Carl. That's his name. That comedian. Yeah, it's Gary Owens. That's his name. Gary Owens. That's his name. That's right. Hey, shout out to brother 24 Hours Insight. Yeah, that's the dude name, Gary Owens. He really a Nubian, man. He really a Canaanite, man. So you can tell like that, you know what I'm saying? The different species. And then like to say the third particular species, they Aldebarans, they came from the planet Aldebaran. And then so you got them three different species of Caucasian, or the original Caucasians. And then they mixed in, different mixes start happening, different combinations start popping off. Like the Arabs, once they dropped those Frugaloids out, these Frugaloids mixed back in with the Hindus and created, let me show you. The dark-skinned Hindus mixed back in with these Frugaloids and created these people. We're talking about the original. Now, I know we already covered a lot of this on the other tapes, but we're just making this right here one tape where we just cover this particular topic. That way, as we get ready to climb to the new, to go to the new information, if anybody got any questions on certain things that we're going to be talking about in the new information, we're going to resort them back to these tapes. You know, tell them to go back and check out that tape or this tape. Because somebody asked me about the Hindus, and we already did a tape on the Hindus. It's like Galactic 26, I think. You know what I'm saying? Go back and check out that tape about the Hindus. So we already put that tape out years ago. And people ask and say, hey, man, do a tape on the Hindus. We already got a tape on the Hindus. You got to scroll down and check out some of those stuff we already put out. Because we already got a lot of this stuff in the archives. But hold on, I'm looking for okay, what we said, the Hindus. Okay. And keep in mind, they're not really the real Arabs. We the real Arabs, the roamers. We always went around the planet. All right, so the Frugaloids make, and keep in mind about the hair texture. Now, this particular species, he may be mixed in with, they mixed back in with the Hindus, these Frugaloids, and created this pale Arab, right? So they're another type of species after so many mixes. So you're dealing, that's one species of mix. Then you got a different type of Arab. So you're looking at these people right here, right? You can see right here, he might be closer to your example of an older species. Like, so when the dark-skinned Hindus mix in with the Frugaloids, you get a darker species or a lighter skinned species. So you can tell that he's an Arab, the same species as that dude, but he's darker because of the darker Hindus, right? Then you got the red Arabs, right? Which is a mix between, like I said, the same thing, the same species really. Just keep on, they kept mixing in with these Frugaloids, these dark-skinned Hindus, or the Frugaloids mixed in with dark-skinned beings and create, because you can look at his hair texture. Look at his hair is more of a woolly texture. So you're looking at a different type of species. We're talking about the pale Arabs. And then these people in turn came back and mixed in with the beings that was in Ethiopia and created a whole other species, the Ethiopian that they teaching you about today. But these are the originals. Well, this not this species, but the first 4 species that I showed you are the original species. If you're coming in late, the Sands people, the Twa man, the Watusi, and the Hindus. The Hindus actually came up to this galaxy like 60-something billion years ago. The Watusis were actually part of an experiment that took place where they was creating this new type of being that to take their place, of these new type of cars. And so they mixed like the shaggy beings, and they mixed the Watusi, they mixed the shaggies and the Anunnaki DNA and the Hindu DNA all in together to create a new type of being. That's the Watusis. The Watusis got Hindu in them from the original mix that came from Orion. So the Watusis got the people I showed you, the Watusis. Let me show you. They got Hindu in them from the original mix. That's why they got a different. They has not as nappier as the Twa man. As the Twa man and as the Sands man. The Sands man, they have more of a woolly texture. You see how his hair is? It's more of a woolly texture than straight nap, beady balls, or how they call it, buckshots, as Martin called it on talk when she was trying to disrespect Pam on Martin. You know what I'm saying? Why their nose is so big. Okay, so yeah, because the Anunnakis. Okay, all right. So the big nose and things come from the Anunnaki side, because you got to keep in mind these people are larger in stature, but the Anunnaki are like 7 foot tall. They're like Shaquille O'Neal types. So imagine how big Shaquille O'Neal's nose is, and how big is his shoe. Shaquille O'Neal wear a 26 inch shoe. Then they can shoe the size of a 26-inch rim. And that's the Anunnaki genetics of the 7 foot tall people. So they had bigger parts, body parts. If you're bigger, you got bigger body parts. So you got bigger ears, you got bigger eyes, you got bigger nose, bigger teeth, bigger lips, bigger everything. So that big structured thing comes from the Anunnaki side, with them being giants or being tall or extremely large people. You see what I'm saying? All of this cloning is wrong, young. Yeah. It's, hey man, it depends on what perspective you look from, but it actually happened it happens some by natural selection, it happens some by design. All this is happening for different reasons. Oh no, Hakeem, boy. If you don't stop doing what you're doing, it's gonna be bad for you, bro. Hey, I guess Hakeem is part of my show now because he always jacking with me during the time when I'm on live. And this dude don't leave me alone, bro. He always coming after me. Right? Yeah, so we already, like I said, we already covered a lot of this in the other tapes, like a couple of little key points of this. But we just want to go have one single tape on this. That way, if anybody have any questions about who's the original, somebody asked the question, who's the original people? So we had to do a tape on it, man, so we can break it down for you. But you got to keep these in mind. That's what I love about my master teacher. He always pointed these things out. Like, look at the hair, look at the skull, look at the face. But the bigger, like I say, the bigger limbs, the bigger nose, bigger ears, all that's coming from the Anunnaki genetics, because the Anunnakis were a larger size people in stature. Man, my nose, lip, and yeah, that's right. Hey, so that's the Anunnaki side. Because if you go back and look at the newborns, and let me pull up one of them helmets for you real quick. Now let me show you, because the newborns were this mix that between the Anunnakis and the Sands people and the Twaman. It depends on what side of the mix you came from. Okay, all right. So now you look at the larger nose, the larger lips on these sculptures, right? So these people are the Nubians, who they call them the Nubians, who came over here, and some of them they got the Asian, the ones you said look Asian looking. That's because the Sands people got the Asian look. The Asian people come out of the Sands people, right? So I'm gonna pull a Sands person up to show you what I'm talking about. And they found some of these same helmets identical in Ethiopia. These same type of helmets in Ethiopia, and that's West Africa, right? Is there another world inside this earth? Oh yeah, we already are. Hey, we already got tapes on it already. Ace too much. We got tapes on it. Go back and get Galactic Family of Life 27. And we had the Billy Woodrick tape. Google a man named Billy Woodrick. He talk about it. Look up a man named Admiral Byrd who flew into the center of the earth. Right? Look up the study about Adolf Hitler and how he went and set up that base down in Antarctica and was going to the center. We got a couple tapes out on that. You talking about the center world? Yeah, the center world. Hey, I'm back, man. My mom just hit me up, man. My bad. Okay, hold on, let me get this back lined up. I think you what's the name? Upgraded. They Zoom upgraded. So it's not, the screen is not closing down no more when I load it up. So I like that part. The audio, yeah, it went out. The audio went out because my mom called me, man, while I was on live. So you looking at the big nose, big lips, big eyes, that's the Anunnaki genetics. And you can see it, some of these features look Asian because we're dealing with the Sands people who had the Asian look. Let me show you. You can see the Asian look in these people. And then the Fugaloids and the Therus mixed in with the Sands people once they migrated to West Africa. And I mean, West Asia or East Asia, right? These Sands people migrated to East Asia. And it's different species of them there, but they mixed in with the Fugaloids and the Therus who had a 47 chromosome, and it caused Down syndrome to give them a more of a chink look. Let's look at somebody with Down syndrome. Bible, oh man, that's what I'm telling you about my master teacher, man. He was ahead of the game. So he was ahead of the game, bro. He was way ahead of the game. They knew who he was, and that's why he up in there at the same spot with Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover, the same thing. All these brothers, man. So you see the Down syndrome look, right? It gives them an Asian effect, the Asian look effect. So that's the trait that's coming in through these Therus, these cone heads. They made a movie about them called Cone Heads, right? And so if you look at that, if you look at these people with Down syndrome, you see it looks like they Asian. But now when you go into let's look up let's go back to the Sands people. Okay. So the Sands people already got like a chink look. So you're dealing with a combination of Down syndrome and the chink look that these Sands people already had. So you can look at them and tell, man. And they were already lighter. This is a different species because most of these people are lighter than the Nubans, the Anunnaki mix, because the Anunnakis had olive tone skin, green skin. So when they came in, these beings develop a darker skin. That's why the Nubians are more blacker. They're really black green. They're more blacker than these beings. These beings are being evoluted from the mixing of the project on Mars. the enocytes, on the Homo sapien, the Homo erectus, the genus Homos. That's the particular species. What prison is Baba in? Baba is in Florence, Colorado. But like I say, I think Rob Haynes just did a tape saying that they took him from there and put him in another facility. But we'll get the word on that soon. Right? He's the most heavily guarded facility in the United States of America. Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, that's right, Sister DJ. That's a lot of mixes going on. Because we're dealing with them 4 original species, and then those couple drafted species that we talked about. And really, the Canaanites weren't really drafted. They was just a spun from the Nubians. So really Canaanite. So your white homegirl you got that act black, she really a Canaanite, and she really your family, she really a Nubian, just without the melanin, right? You can hear, but you can always hear it in their spirit. You try to spirit by the spirit, you can hear in their spirit who they are, that they really niggas, they really niggas that look white, and these were the people that we put in to make the balance, because it was a lot of hate between the white and black. So what we did is we made some of your people reincarnate as white people, or reincarnate as different, as a certain species, in order to make the balance, because there was so many hate between. It's like a go between people. They can go over here with like Obama, right? Obama, he really darker though, but like people that look, they got 2 sides to the family, right? To glue the split that's happening, right? So we into that, man. So you see the Asian look that these people got with the Terus coming in with the Down syndrome. They give the Asians these people right here. They created these people. You can see now. Keep in mind about that Sands dude. Keep in mind this face right here. Now, what happens is these people migrate to Asia, and then they mix in with the Terus. The Terus are the coneheads, right? Now, let me pull up the Chinese so you can see what they look like. All right. So the Down syndrome is right there. You can see it. Okay. But the chink eyes, like Jackie Chan, right? But Jackie Chan, I think he's from a different species, because it's a different species. It's different species of Chinese, and they all make themselves distinct from each other. Like if you call somebody that's a Vietnamese Chinese, they're gonna say, I ain't Chinese, I'm Vietnamese. If you call somebody that's from Korea or China, man, they're gonna say, I ain't China, man, I'm Korean. Or Japanese, right? Japanese is a different species though, because they actually came over, they part of that Hoshin dynasty. They came over, mixed in with us, and some of them got sent back over there, and they became known as Japan. So you wonder why it's a lot of arguing between these different Asian countries, like Korea versus China, China versus Vietnamese, Filipinos, right? Different species. It's because of the different mixes. These people I'm really different from you because I got a different mix. I'm more of a redder tone than a yellow tone. Like some beans are more yellow than red. Like, so you can see the mix from the Shan people, the Sands people. So that's a Chinese species. They come about from them different mixes. Sands people with the Frigoloids, right? And you can tell by the hair, because some of them got mixed in with Hindus, and the Hindu genetics could be from the Frigoloid side. Okay. So I'll tell you, in America, you niggas got everything. That's why you the fastest. That's why you run the highest and the jump the longest and all that. You are superhumans over here in America. The American people are superhuman because you're a mix of all these different species. You a mix. You got some of y'all got Chinese in you. Some of you got Frugaloid in you. Some of you got just about all you got those 4 original races. the four original races, the Hindus, the Twa man. Because if you're a short being, you know you got Twa in you. You short, if you tall, you know that's the Watusi side, the Anunnaki side. If you tall, all the basketball players, 6 foot, 7 foot people, that's the genetics of the Anunnakis. The big people with the big nose, wide hips, that's the Anunnaki genetics. Big butts, big butt, and I cannot lie, right? Anunnakis, the Amazon women, man. The Amazon women, that Watusi. And we already broke down last night. We was all around the planet, man. But most of the species come from the original species. We broke down the Para-Arabs. What's another species? Now the species that's this species right here. These people, right? They from a different species too, but they stem down from the Hindus, and some of these people came over here and mixed in with the people over here. And so, like some people say, "Oh, we ain't Indians," but in America, the Hindus came over here and mixed in with us. So some of us can be classified as Indians. I'm telling you, man. Your grandma probably look like this lady, and she a Hindu. But they also mix with. They come from another mix, like it's some beings that live underground called the Dawani, and they like these hairy beings, right? With Sinclair and them, right? We might do a tape on them. Matter of fact, we got to get a tape out. I think it's Galactic 16. Go watch that tape, Galactic 16. We break down who them beings are, and with Lucky and everything, right? So it's that species was coming to the surface and mixing in with humans, mixing in with Hindus, and created a more hairy looking features like these beings here that we're showing you here, right? So you might got an auntie look like this. The Aboriginals of Australia, which was really the Sands people and the Hindus mixing in. Sands people and Hindus mixing in, plus another species called a large. Like I say, they were like spun off the Shaggy beings coming out of Cyrus, and also the Dewarnians who came from Cyrus. They came here to live they live in the center of the earth. So that's another species. So you got that particular species. You can look at the hair texture. Keep in mind about the hair textures, man. See right there? They're the warnings. Okay, I'm trying to think of another species that I gotta talk about. The Native American over here, he's a mix between the Nubans, Olmecs, Wichita Indians, and natives, and the Chinese. You already know about that mix with Ho Shin. That's the Native American mix. Let me show you that while we on there, man. Because Brother Grady close out, and we might come back later on again tonight with another class. Just wanted to make sure we got this the main four species out over to you. All right, so you're looking at these people. These are a mix between the Asians and us, the Armacs. You can see the big features, the big cheekbones, but you can see the Asian as well, right? You can see the Asian as well. What about the gingers? All right, the Hispanics are these people. These are you're looking at a Hispanic. When you looking at the Chinese and the Armac mix, you're looking at the Hispanic. I mean the Hispanic people. As far as the ones that's was in Central America, because you're dealing with the Chinese Ho Shin coming in, mixing in with us, the Armacs, and creating after several kept mixing in with us. You created a new race called the Mexicans. The Mexicans are part Chinese, part Nubans, or part Nubans, Africans. They part Africans, part Chinese. Most of all the species of Hispanics, and then you got it's like the oldest species of Hispanic because you got like 3 different species of Hispanics, maybe 4. All right, one species is this mix, right? The mix between the Native Americans and the Armacs. That's the oldest species. They call it Aztec Indians. right? The Aztecs. The Mayans are a combination between the Chinese and the Twa man that was over here as well, because the Mayans were a little shorter beings. So you got tall Mexicans and short Mexicans. That's another species dealing with the Twa man and the Chinese mixing in too down there in Central America because they was down there too. All right. Then you got another a third species of Mexican that comes from after that mix after all those mixes already happened. Then you got David Cortez or Hernandez Cortez. He sails over for the Spaniards under the Roman. This right here was doing under the Spanish Inquisition and all that. And he was a Knights of Templar, and they sailed over to Central America and began mixing in with these people. So now you got another type of looking Mexican that look more Italian looking, and they started the Mexican mafia, the La Familia, or the Tongos, Blast. You got they more of a cholo type Mexicans. The Mexicans that we wearing the zoot suits and had the low riders. Those are another species of Mexican. Although they the same family, they got the Spaniard in them. The Spaniard from Cortez and them coming over and mixing in any else, giving time waiting for the Caucasians to go. Yeah, hey man, the Caucasian really never is gonna leave because they're part of the all. Everything is part of the all. We all part of the all. So we're gonna exist. They're gonna exist one way or the other, whether they exist. And you can't hate nobody for the color of their skin. That's what that's one of the powerful statements that Martin Luther King made. We're supposed to be past that particular. That's their beast's mentality. We're supposed to be past hating people and talking down on people. We're supposed to be past that. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be on another level of intelligence. Because you can change the color of your skin once you get to 40%. You could go be a white person, green, blue, whatever color you want. Once you get to 40% of brain power, right? We just bring you the truth of the genetics. And then once you see what the truth is, then you can go and say, okay, all right, this and that, right? But okay, so that's one species of Mexican. So it's about maybe three different species. And then one of those species mixed back in with Nubians. And so you got that 4 different species. And then they move down towards South America. So you got darker skinned Mexicans down in South America. They call themselves Colombians. And then also you got another mix. They really not Mexicans. They really they can be classified as Hispanic because of being conquered by Spain, the Spaniards. But the Taino beings, the Puerto Ricans, who they call from the Puerto Rico, right? Which is not really the name of that land. For my Moors area, know that. But they can't. A particular species of Portuguese came into that land and made it with and raped those beings that was in that land, Puerto Rico, and created another lighter skinned type different species. Really, Puerto Ricans is really different. We all the same species when you draw it back, but I'm saying the Puerto Rican the Taino Indians are a different species from the Mexicans, although they might be classify themselves as the same. So like Kevin Gates is more of a let me look. Okay, you see that picture right there. Let me show you a picture of this dude, Kevin Gates. He's a perfect example of what a Taino Indian look like. All right. He even got some kind of consciousness towards it because he wearing a feather in his head, right? He wearing a feather in his head, so he knows. So this is a different species from the Mexicans. He more of the Nubians that were there because you see the big nose features that's come from the Anunnaki, the Nubians who had already migrated over here to those lands, and then the Portuguese coming in, mixing in with these beings, creating a lighter tone skin being, and created the Taino Indians. So they're a different species from the Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, right? And they really Nubians, and that's why a lot of them was hanging out. If you from New York, like Fat Joe is from this same bloodline. He just like more of a Hispanic or mix. Like so, Fat Joe is a Taino Indian too. All right, let's look up Fat Joe. And you could tell when you listen to these people and how they grow up. You know what I'm saying? We the same people. So Fat Joe is more, he a Taino Indian as well. You can see the big features, right? But he more of a mix with the Portuguese. Like so they mixed. Took Kevin Gates was his dad. Kevin Gates his mother was like Kevin Gates tone, and then you mix another Hispanic back in with that bean, you get the Fat Joe type. So Fat Joe is a Taino Indian as well, but he just a bloodline that's more of a mix. You know what I'm saying? So that's the family on the Mexicans. Yeah, J Lo. That's right. Knowledge seeker. J Lo is one of those Taino Indians, just like Fat Joe. The mix, the more of the Hispanic mix, right? J Lo. Okay. J Lo used to be one of my fantasy wives. Tell you, man, that chick there. J Lo is a Taino Indian, just like Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? So you seeing the different types, man. The Germans, hey, the original Germans were a mix between the Watusis and the Twaman. And those people that was in that land, they were called the Bantu people. That's what King George III's family come from the Bantu people. And then those people got moved out, and the elder barons took over that land. And with the mix of the Frugaloids and the Derus. So yeah, hey, yeah, J Lo, man, I'm telling you, J Lo's always like, man, you know, cause you know, but man, we about to get out of here, man. Because we got to go somewhere tonight. That's why we came in early to better drop. I think we pretty much covered. I gave you enough to where you can go and see. Okay, look at these different facial features. We'll actually do another tape called the facial features, and we might come back on tonight at about maybe 9:30, 10. And do another class, but we just wanted to get this one in the archives, the original people of the earth. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, man. If you want to send your brother a donation, we put our cash apps in the link. Hey, we got so many tapes coming out, man, for you guys, man. Like we got I think this new idea that I came out with, it helps me to keep the tapes rolling. Like when I be sitting down brainstorming, start writing down the names of the class, and then that way I can just go back and just do the classes. And so that's helping me out. Okay, so we dropping them joints back to back, man. Heavy duty stuff. So you want to show your brother some love, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, right? Like and share this joint, man. And if you want to show me some love, we put the cash apps in the link. But we're about to get off, man, because we don't want to hold you too long. Because people got short attention spans. So we gotta drop it in on you and get out. You know what I'm saying? And this right here really like a lot of like my Sabian brothers and my Nuwapian brothers. A lot of this stuff is really old information. You know what I'm saying? And on this particular stuff that we're talking about, because we already went through this schools. But we just wanted to get this out for the older people. I mean, for the people that's younger that never heard of our master teacher, for one, and two, so I can stop being questioning about certain things. I can just say, I'll go back to this tape. I ain't got to waste time to go back and answer those questions when we already broke it down in the tape, right? That way, so when I come out, start talking about the new information, and I say certain key words, they don't have to say, "Oh, what is he talking about?" We already got the tapes on the basic platform of information before we go into the heavy duty shit. So, man, we out of this thing, man. Islam, peace, hotel, Ashug, divine love throughout the balanced universe to all. Wadu.